Look, I get it. We're all going to kick the bucket someday. But before Aunt Grim comes knocking, I say we should live it up and cross some places off the old bucket list. I'm talking the biggies, the cream of the travel crop here in good old America. We're talking giant redwoods, purple mountain majesties, spacious skies, the places that make you proud to be born in the land of the free. So grab your selfie sticks and your sunscreen, folks. We're going on a whirlwind tour of the best America has to offer before we start pushing up daisies. It's gonna be epic. I know. Everyone and their grandmother has a bucket list these days. But hear me out, because visiting America's greatest landmarks before you kick the bucket is a rite of passage. This ain't your average list of tourist traps, folks. We're talking about the big leagues. First up, the Grand Canyon. What better way to confront your own mortality than by peering over the edge of a mile-deep gorge? The colors, the cliffs, the condors circling below. It's all so grand, it's almost obnoxious. No excuses here. You just gotta see it. Pictures don't do justice to its immense, colorful grandeur. While you're in Arizona, swing by Sedona's red rock formations and Montezuma Castle cliff dwellings. Yosemite's massive sequoia groves and stunning waterfalls are a must in California. Meander misty Muir Woods and marvel at the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, and did I mention Alcatraz? For a taste of frontier life, hit up Bodie Ghost Town. In the Pacific Northwest, gaze at glaciers in North Cascades National Park and orcas in the San Juan Islands. Mount Rainier will blow you away, as will Multnomah Falls in the Columbia River Gorge. The Midwest has hidden gems too. Ponder ancient mounds at Cahokia, the first city in America. Explore mysterious Mammoth Cave, the world's longest known cave system. Out east, Shenandoah's Blue Ridge Mountains and Mammoth Hot Springs Travertine Terraces impress. The monuments and Smithsonian museums of D.C. warrant weeks of wandering. Down south, revel in New Orleans' decadent French Quarter and Austin's live music scene. 2 words: Bourbon Street. Lastly, America's crown jewels. Yellowstone, Glacier, Zion, and the Great Smokies. Their scenic splendor will haunt your dreams and call you back. What are you waiting for? Start crossing off that bucket list. This land was made for you and me to explore. Here are the best natural wonders to see before you die. There's something about staring into the abyss of nature's raw power and beauty that really puts your insignificant little life into perspective. Before I shuffle off this mortal coil, I plan to gaze into as many of these natural wonders as possible. Yosemite National Park with waterfalls taller than skyscrapers and trees as old as empires. Half Dome looks like God's very own skate ramp if the big guy was into extreme sports. And where else can you see bears in the wild stealing granola bars from tourists? Yellowstone's full of natural wonders too, like Old Faithful blasting boiling water high into the air and rainbow-colored hot springs you could cook a bison in. Not to mention the supervolcano simmering beneath, ready to wipe out humanity at any moment. Cheery thought. Niagara Falls is worth seeing at least once before you take the eternal plunge. Over 3,000 tons of water thunder, over the edge every second, creating clouds of mist that drench the crowds of selfie-taking tourists on the overlooks. These natural wonders may fill you with existential angst, but their raw beauty is a reminder of the fleeting miracle of life on our little blue marble. So get out there and be humbled by the forces of nature before it's too late. Your insignificant little life will be better for it. Here are the iconic cities you must visit in the USA: New York, New York. The city's so nice they named it twice. As a born and bred New Yorker, I may be biased, but no trip to the US is complete without visiting the Big Apple. From the bustling streets of Manhattan to the hipster havens of Brooklyn, there's something for everyone in NYC. Catch a show on Broadway, eat your way through Little Italy and Chinatown, get lost in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Just make sure to avoid Times Square. Too many tourists. The Windy City calls your name. Chicago will blow you away with its vibrant culture, architecture, and, of course, the deep dish, pizza. Take an architecture boat tour along the Chicago River to see the city's skyscrapers up close. Check out Millennium Park and the Bean. Catch a Cubs game at historic Wrigley Field. The Art Institute of Chicago and Field Museum are world-class. Just bundle up. The wind off Lake Michigan is no joke. the city of angels where Hollywood dreams come true. LA is the place where aspiring actors flock to become stars. But there's more to Los Angeles than showbiz. Hit the beach in Santa Monica or Malibu. Hike to the Hollywood sign. Marvel at masterpieces at the Getty Center Museum. Take a studio tour and you just might spot a celeb. While the traffic and sprawl aren't ideal, the sunny weather and laid-back California vibe more than make up for it. From sea to shining sea, America has no shortage of vibrant, culturally rich cities to explore. Get out there and start checking some off your bucket list. The open road or sky awaits. Here are the top historical and cultural sites to add to your bucket list. America is chock full of important historical sites, but some simply can't be missed. As a history nerd, visiting these places lets me connect with the figures and events that shaped this nation. The Lincoln Memorial in D.C. is a must-see. There's something stirring about standing where MLK gave his "I Have a Dream" speech. Plus, Lincoln's statue is way bigger in person. That man was a giant. Ford's Theater, where Lincoln was assassinated, is another can't miss. The museum below the theater is a sobering look at the conspiracy that ended the great emancipator's life. Word to the wise, buy tickets in advance. A trip to Massachusetts isn't complete without visiting the Freedom Trail in Boston. Walk the red line through history, from Paul Revere's house to Old North Church to the Bunker Hill Monument. The trail covers 16 historical sites from the Revolutionary War era. As a bonus, you can grab a cannoli in the North End when you're done. Out west, the Alamo in San Antonio is hallowed ground for Texans. Though small, the Mission Fortress is a symbol of courage against impossible odds. Remember, the Alamo is more than just a battle cry. It's a reminder of the sacrifice for freedom. There are so many places where history was made in this great country of ours. Visiting them in person gives you a sense of connection to the heroes, villains, and ordinary people who shaped America. What historic sites are on your bucket list? Let me know. I'm always looking for another excuse to nerd out on a road trip. All right, so you've decided to go big or go home and see all the major sites in America that every self-respecting tourist should experience before they kick the bucket. Bravo, my friend. This won't be easy or cheap, but you'll have stories to tell for years. A few tips before you dive in. When should I go? Any time is a good time if you hate crowds and high prices. For the best weather, aim for summer. For smaller crowds and deals, try shoulder seasons of April through May and September through October. Unless you're a masochist, avoid major holidays. How long will this take? To do it properly without wanting to kill each other. I'd give it at least a month, preferably 6 and 8 weeks. There's a lot of ground to cover. We're talking 48 contiguous states here, people. Pace yourself for maximum enjoyment and minimal homicide charges. Can I drive the whole way? I mean, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you have a death wish. Some spots like the national parks are best explored on foot or bike. For others, flying will save you days of mind-numbing interstate scenery. Mix up your transport to avoid road trip rage. How much cash should I bring? All of it. Just bring all the money. This isn't going to be cheap, my friend, especially if you're traveling in peak season. Budget at least $5-10K per person for a multi-week trip. And that's a conservative estimate. But hey, you only live once, right? Might as well go big and max out those credit cards on the adventure of a lifetime. This isn't meant to scare you off, just prepare you for the reality of an epic US bucket list trip. With some advanced planning and the right mindset, you'll come home with memories to last a lifetime. And one hell of a credit card bill. Godspeed. Well, there you have it, folks. My whirlwind tour of the greatest hits of America's bucket list attractions. From sea to shining sea, this great nation of ours has no shortage of wonders, both natural and man-made. Of course, your mileage may vary. Maybe you think my list missed a few spots or ranked some too high or too low. That's the beauty of a bucket list. It's deeply personal. The only thing that matters is that you get out there while you still can, cross some of these destinations off your list, and make some memories that'll stay with you for a lifetime. Just be sure to send me a postcard.